All right, and welcome back to the forecast card. Took the weekend off. I was dealing with a bit of strep throat, feeling definitely much better. Should be able to get back to regular uploads. Hopefully, some of you were able to tail this weekend. I actually did have quite a awesome weekend, 14 and 5 and 2. Um, I do post on my YouTube post section, whatever. I don't know if that's like a common place where people can find it, but I know some of you found it. Hopefully, some of you are in my Discord as well, which is obviously completely free. It's in the description if you're interested in joining and chatting with us. But yeah, 6-1 and 2 on Friday. Yesterday on Saturday, I went 4 and 2, and then Sunday we just went 4-2 and 1. So pretty solid days all around. Um, Couple weird ones, couple lucky ones, couple unlucky ones. Normal baseball activity. Um, but yeah, I feel like I'm getting this. I'm feeling pretty good about baseball right now. In general, hopefully it stays that way. Uh, I have a bet today that I'm not looking forward to, but statistically, I feel like it has to cash eventually. And now that they're playing the Rockies, we'll get to that eventually. But yeah, that's everything for the recap. Let's get into the games for tomorrow. All right, heading on to the first game, we have the Nats heading on the road to play the Pirates. No real interest in betting this game. If I'm being honest, it's likely going to be rained out anyway. But the fact that this might be a rainy game, uh, I think I would have to lean with Washington, just given the price. Obviously, Skeen's probably the best pitcher in baseball right now, but the Nats have been getting runs. Like they actually have bats, and if Skeens can only, let's say, go 7 innings, 6 innings, seven, whatever, I don't trust the Pittsburgh bullpen, and the Nats bats have been really hot, and they're not like the Pittsburgh Pirate bats have been terrible. Like if you just look at their last few games, they just lost 4-0. The game before that, they put up 2-3, 2-3, 8-5, 4-4. They actually did quite well against the Yankees, but then the Marlins against the Rays 0-1-2. I just don't know if I can trust their bats here. Obviously, I do think Brad Lord is not great. We don't know much really about him. He's only played a couple games in the majors and almost all exclusively in the bullpen. But um, yeah, I'm gonna lean first five under 3.5. I think Skeens holds the Nats to no runs here, um, especially given the weather. And on the other side, I just don't trust the Pittsburgh lineup to consistently get runs, especially early on. So yeah, first five under 3.5, minus 120 would be my lean for this game, but no bet for me at all. All right, heading on to game number two, we have the Giants heading on the road to play the Phillies. Um, I'm not sold on Taiwan Walker yet. I understand that he's had two decent starts. One was against Colorado at home, so nothing he could even pull from that one. It's still the worst team against righties, so that's fine. Then he played the Braves, who honestly have been really bad offensively. Hasn't really impressed me, and even in that game, he let up 5 hits and 3 walks in less than 5 innings pitched. Um, Obviously, he had an ERA of 0, but I think he got pretty lucky to get out of a few of those. I don't think he's back. I think he reverts back to what we expect from him. On the other side, Landon Roop also hasn't been that good this year. He's given up 11 hits in 10 innings, 4 walks in one game, but he did clean it up the game after. But he has played arguably slightly better bats, Astros, Reds. I wouldn't say necessarily that much better. That being said, historically, he's been a pitcher that's pitched much better on the road. Last year, he had a perfect ERA on the road, over 17 innings pitched. Um, and 2023, he had a 1.25 ERA over 21 innings pitched. Obviously, he had a bit of a rough road start this time against Houston, but again, he gave up 3 earned runs. It was basically his walks, which he really cleaned up in the next game. So I think he's not a bad pitcher at all. Especially, he's really quite good against lefties, which are, in my opinion, some of the scariest bats on Phillies are lefties, in Harper and Schwarber. Um, and Brandon Marsh has been hitting the ball pretty well. So I think the Giants are just the better squad right now. Yeah, maybe they have the better bullpen. They've been hitting the ball better. They've been getting runs. Phillies have not been getting runs. If you look at I don't think they've passed, like, other than one game, I don't think they've scored more than 3 runs. Um, don't really trust their bullpen lately. On paper it's good, but I haven't trusted it. And we're getting Giants here at plus money. Yeah, and it's not a big travel spot for the Giants either. If you dig into the numbers a little bit more here, obviously both these pitchers are righties. Giants 109 WRC plus against righties this year. Phillies 102. So on paper, Giants have been hitting righties slightly better. And even if you look at the data here, uh, Roop this year over 10 innings pitched, he's been pretty solid. Obviously, it's very small sample size, but despite Taiwan's a really good start, he's still like statistically in xFIP not very good. So he's obviously got very lucky in both of his starts to have performed the way he has. I don't think he's back. I think we're getting this price because Phillies are coming back home, um, and yeah, and the Giants are traveling. But I don't trust Taiwan Walker here. I think Giants have the better bats, better bullpen, and better starting pitcher. So I'm running with the Giants money line at plus 100. That's an official bet. All right, bringing us to the third game, we have the Red Sox head on the road to play the Rays. Now, this is again a bit of a weird spot. I really wanted to take a side in this game, but again, both these pitchers are quite elite. Shane Baz has been having a really good year, and Tanner Hook is quite a decent pitcher on the road. Historically, this year not so much, but historically he's been pretty solid on the road. In terms of splits, he's pretty good against both righties and lefties, which is pretty good to have against a Rays team that is pretty split between righties and lefties. Shane Baz obviously has been elite, but he has played the Pit, and the Angels. So on paper, not incredible offenses, especially Pitt against LA. Yeah, he had a decent game, only giving up 2 earned runs in 7 innings, but he still had 4 walks, 3 hits, home run given up. It could have probably been a lot worse for him. So I think he's elite. We haven't got a significant sample size from him in the big leagues yet. But that being said, I think he's better than Hook. I think the Red Sox bats are just too shitty. And because of that, again, I don't think the Rays are that elite of an offense either. They look like a shell of themselves from last year. I think Hook pitches well. I think Shane Baz pitches well. I think Boston continues to struggle offensively. I think the Rays kind of slow down a bit against a pretty solid pitcher. I don't hate either of these bullpens that much. Not going to bet this, but under 9 at minus 120 would be my official lean for this game. All right, that brings us to game number 4. We have the Royals heading on the road to play the Yanks. This would be a good game to watch. And this is a kind of a weird one where it's like I don't really know who to back or what to back. Because obviously I think the Yankees have the more talented roster. And they hit righties really well. But again, I think they have a really bad starting pitcher in Carrasco. On the other side, I think the Royals are currently the worst offense against right-handed pitching this year. But it's still Carrasco, who I think sucks. So Royals have the better pitcher, but can't hit the ball, and the Yankees have the better bats, but the worst pitcher. I think this could really go either way. Seth Lugo has been honestly really good. He's a pretty balanced pitcher. He does give up a decent amount of hits. He doesn't go a lot of innings, but he's consistently gives up 3 or fewer earned runs in almost every single start. He has been a pitcher that plays really good on the road. Last year, he almost had a sub 2.5 ERA over 100 innings pitched last year, which is pretty impressive. So I do think he's the better pitcher. That being said, Yankees at home are still kind of scary, and Carrasco kind of sucks. That being said, I will lean the Yankees on the money line in this game. I'm not going to bet it because Carrasco could give up another shitstorm. Like, I just don't trust him. I really don't. If you look at his 3 starts this year, first start, he only went 2 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, and he got pulled. And then he went in Arizona, went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks, then 6-4-4-3 with 3 home runs. The Royals do have some bats that can smack it, especially in Yankee Stadium. So, yeah, not really interested in either side of this game. It would be Yankees money line or pass for me. All right, heading on to game number 5, we have the Braves heading on the road to play the Jays. This is going to be a good game. Obviously, I'm a Toronto fan, so a bit biased. Easton Lucas, he's been incredible this year, but I just don't know if I believe it yet. Yes, he's been good this year, but last year he looked awful. The year before that, he looked awful. Is he back? I don't know. He could be back. And Grant Holmes on the other side, he's on paper the better pitcher, but he's kind of had a rough start to his season. I do think the Jays have a slightly better offense currently, and technically the better current pitcher, it's hard to tell. I really hate these early pitchers that like are playing out of their mind when they've historically been really bad. I don't know if they're back or if they're getting lucky. The xFIP suggests that he hasn't been getting lucky, but I think Grant Holmes is quite good. If I had to bet this game, it looks like it's going to be played in a dome, and I don't think they're going to open it. It's supposed to get a little colder here in Toronto again. Um, so you don't have to worry about wind. That being said, though, yes, these offenses have the ability to go crazy, but I do think these pitchers are good. The bullpens aren't terrible. If I had to pick a side here, I would be on the under 9 here. All right, heading on to game number 6, we have the Tigers heading on the road to play the Brewers. Now, this is going to be an interesting game. So, on paper, obviously, you have Skubal, obviously very elite. Um, but both of these pitchers, between Skubal and Alexander, obviously both these lineups don't really hit lefties that well, especially last year. If you look at this year versus left-handed pitching, Detroit 92 in WRC plus, Milwaukee in 80th, so they're like middle of the pack against left-handed pitching. Not terrible, not the worst. Um, but the one thing is that Tyler Alexander historically known as for giving up a ton of home runs. It's kind of what he does, and Skubal really hasn't had a phenomenal start. He's had 3 starts this year. His strikeouts are picking up a bit, but he's given up 3 home runs. He's given up 16 hits. He's given up 7 earned runs. Strikeouts are down. I just don't know if he's looking that good this year. And if you look at his stats historically, he's really, really good at home. Sub 2 ERA at home over his career. But when he hits the road, he becomes a lot more average. 3.48 on the season, on his career. 5.91 so far this year. Just under 3 last year. 2023, 4.17. It's a significant drop off when he hits the road. So I think he's going to be hittable by this Brewers lineup that I think is finally back to normal after the altitude games. And on the other side, we have Tyler Alexander, who is much worse at home. Last year, he had a 6.07 ERA at home. On his career, a 5.21. And he also kind of struggles. Again, he doesn't keep any pitcher any hitter sub 250, lefties or righties. So he's not phenomenal. Both these lineups do have the ability to get really hot, and they both don't have phenomenal bullpens. I really think this is going to be a good spot here for runs. I don't particularly trust either of these pitchers in these specific spots, and both of them kind of were worse against righties. And both lineups are more righties than lefties. If you look at the weather, which is going to be a big reason why I like the over for this game, hopefully it doesn't change, but it's expected to be to start off the game at 7 p.m. It's going to be 17 miles per hour. It's going to be cold, but it's going to be really heavy winds. And both these pitchers have, despite being really elite, they also give up a lot of hard contact. I think this is a spot here where, it's going to be really, really cold. But the wind, if you can hit the ball well, it's going to be definitely a home run in left field. So, I tried to find different angles for the side. Tigers' first half run line looked kind of nice as well. Perhaps that might be the safer side to take here, but I'm going to lean with the over. I think we're getting 7 because of Skubal. He really hasn't been that good this year. I think if the Tigers get hot, they could solo the total themselves against a Brewers bullpen that has really not been good this year. Bottom 3 on the season. Detroit's has been pretty solid, but if we're looking at xFIP, Detroit's is kind of average. So I'm gonna be on the over 7 on this game, but I also quite like Detroit first half run line if you're interested as well. All right, that brings us to the next game. We have the Mets head on the road to play the Twins. Again, another game where I'm not really that interested in betting it. Both these teams are extremely hot and cold. I do think Joe Ryan is the better pitcher of the two, but Clay Holmes, since kind of moving into a starting pitching role, has been really good. But both offenses have been really cold, especially against right-handed pitching. If you look at the data, it's kind of crazy this year. Minnesota, bottom 10 with 94 WRC plus. Mets 82, despite the fact that they're playing really well with 10-5 record. I think both these good pitchers are good enough. I think the bullpens are also good enough. So I would be on the under 8 here as a lean. But I'm really not interested in messing around with this Minnesota team till I see what they actually are this year. All right, heading on to the next game, we have the Cubs heading on the road to play the Padres. Now, this line doesn't make a lot of sense to me at 7.5. Feels like sometimes maybe I'm missing something, but these are two offenses that have been really hot this year, even last year. But if we're just trying to isolate how they've been looking this year, in general against righties, Padres top 5 with a WRC plus of 128, Cubs 124. At home versus righties, Padres still top 7, 133 WRC plus, and on the biggest one on the road, Cubs over 308 plate appearances with a WRC plus of 144, the best team on the road against righties. Not striking out a ton on base 36% of the time. They're looking really, really good offensively. And now we have two pitchers that are really not looking good this year. Tyon, I've honestly never liked him, if I'm being honest. But he's having a tough start. I don't think as bad as Dylan's has, but again, his last two starts, he's given up 3 earned runs, 2 earned runs, 6 earned runs. He's given up 18 hits over 14 innings of pitching. 16 innings of pitching, sorry. 6 ERA, 6.97 ERA, 12.46. That was against the Rangers, Athletics, and the Diamondbacks, offenses that have been kind of bad lately. Historically, he's been really bad on the road, too. Last year, he had an ERA of 4.58 on the road. He had a 5.07 the year before that. So he's going to, obviously in a road game. Dylan Cease, on the other hand, you're really not sure what you're going to get with him. Obviously, he's going to be at home where he's played better, but he still hasn't been great, and he just had probably one of his worst starts in a long time against the Athletics. 4 innings pitched, 9 hits, 9 earned runs, 3 walks, only 4 strikeouts, 7.98 ERA. I just don't trust him. I think he's going to give a ton of hard contact. He's looking really bad this year. Obviously, he has the ability to be completely elite, but I think Tyon is that bad that I feel like as long as the Cubs get 2 or 3 runs, we're going to hit this over. James Tyon historically has played this Padres team. 106 at-bats. He's given up 32 hits, 2 home runs, 2 extra base hits, 5 walks, only 12 strikeouts, an average of .302, an OPS of 780. Just not great numbers. So I really do think that obviously the stadium is not necessarily known to be really good for hitting, but the weather's going to be pretty chill. It's going to be 60 Fahrenheit, which isn't really that cold compared to what we've been seeing. Wind's going to be very, very mild, slightly blowing left. But that's not going to have a significant impact. I just think both these teams lately, especially with Jackson Merrill out, I think they're going to be hot here. So 7.5 for 2 pitchers that I don't like and 2 offenses that are really hot. I feel like that has to be the right side. That's what I'm betting. Sometimes it feels a little bit too obvious. And obviously, but again, the overs have hitting for these two teams at a crazy rate this year. And combining them, I'm going to give it a shot. I think it's the right side in this game. All right, that brings us to my last bet of the day, which again is just absolutely disgusting, but I refuse to believe that the Dodgers bats are this bad. I get that they're ice cold right now, but Freddie Freeman should be back. He only pinch hit today, which means at least he's hitting. Maybe he took a day off for rest, but I think he'll be back. I hope he's back. I was kind of bummed out when he didn't play, but Shohei just went 0 for 5. Last time he went 0 for 5, he's had the next game. I think he went 3 for 4. So I think he's going to be locked back in. They're playing Sensatella, who is fucking terrible. I don't care what anyone says. This guy has played 3 games this year. And he's played them, he's only had 5 days rest, so he's probably a little bit tired for this one. But he's given up, against the Rays, he gave up 9 hits, no earned runs. Then he played the Phillies, gave up 10 hits, no earned runs. Finally caught up to him because he's a lucky fuck. Gave up 8 hits with 8 earned runs. So he finally caught up with how lucky he's been getting with stranding people. Obviously, he was getting some double plays. You could argue that is some level of skill. But I think he's just a bad pitcher. I think they're starting to learn that this guy is just not very good. And historically, he's struggled against the Dodgers. He has 143 at-bats against the Dodgers. He has given up 39 hits, 8 home runs, 16 walks, and only 22 strikeouts. And a batting average of 273 and OPS of .859, which is crazy. So you got this Dodgers team that just got two terrible games in a row. Now they're getting the worst team probably in baseball right now on the road, coming home to a Dodgers team that's going to be extremely embarrassed, pissed off. I think the locker room is going to be motivated to win this game big time. This is like an all-time low if they lose this game against a lineup that cannot hit righties in the Colorado Rockies, against a Dodgers team that has hit righties really well and this specific pitcher extremely well. Dusty May is not necessarily the greatest pitcher of all time, but he's been pretty good this year, and he's a 6'6" beast. I think Colorado, a team that can't hit righties, is going to continue to struggle. I just don't see a world like if I had to like I think if Dodgers don't cover this number, they probably lose. Like I think it has to be a blowout. Weather's gonna be decent. Sensatella sucks. There's just too much firepower on this Dodgers team. I refuse to believe that they don't win this game by 10 points. So Dodgers -2.5 at +105 is my fifth bet of the day. If I have any other bets, I'll post them in the pinned comment. There's a couple that I may want to bet or look at live. Some bullpens that I really think are terrible. For example, Cardinals. If I cash Cardinals first five, I'm probably just gonna bet Houston because I think they have the worst bullpen in baseball. Just small things like that. I've been finding a lot of. I think I'm like 8-1 in live bets this year. So if you're not already, please join the Discord. Completely free. We just kind of shoot the shit. Honestly, 80% of the time we're not even talking about sports. We're just kind of just talking about life and people dropping parlays or asking for opinions or an obscure sport analysis and stuff. It's really cool in there. I think there's just under 5,000 people, so I would love to have you there. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Cheers. All right, and that is everything for today. Just to recap, the five bets that I am on are the Giants money line, over 7.5 in the Tigers versus Brewers game, Cardinals first five money line, over 7.5 in the Cubs versus Padres game, and my least favorite bet, but I feel obligated to because I refuse to believe it. If they lose today, I'm not betting them the rest of the season. But Dodgers -2.5. In terms of leans, first five under 3.5 in the Pirates Nationals game, under 9 in the Red Sox Rays game, Yankees money line in the Royals at Yankees game, under 9 in the Jays at Braves at Jays game, and lastly, under 8.5 in the Mets at Twins game. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully we can keep this heater going, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Cheers.